Come on now, Oxford. Stop it now. This is just getting a bit silly, isn't it? Hello everybody and welcome back to another review of another Oxford United game. Today, the U's were at home to a struggling Shrewsbury Town side. You don't need me to tell you, Oxford fans, we've been in red hot form, winning the last 3 games, scoring 3 goals in each of them. We're second in the league. Shrewsbury have been struggling down the bottom. If you were neutral, you'd think there's only going to be one winner. But as Oxford fans, you're naturally just cautious. You're naturally just praying there's not going to be a banana skin. And there absolutely wasn't. It's another emphatic victory for Oxford United. It ended Oxford United 3, Shrewsbury Town 0. Oxford do not go top of the league because Portsmouth have nicked it late against Wycombe to stay in top spot. So credit to them, and also very funny that they beat Wycombe late on in the day as well. But let's concentrate on Oxford United. Going to be a quicker review for me on these midweek games. I can't do this lengthy a review, so you're probably thankful about that. But I will go over the team news. I will do a match review, and then I'll give my final thoughts at the end. Please, if you can give this video a like, that helps me out so much. And if you do like the content, then think about subscribing as well. Let's have a look at Oxford United tonight then. I thought Liam Manning would go back to a back 4, but he's stuck with the back 3 that did so well against Stevenage. And it's virtually the same side that did beat Stevenage at the weekend. The only difference is Mark Harris is back after his 3-game suspension. He goes straight in at the top of the pitch. Billy Bowden moves to just behind the strikers, like 2 number 10s if you like, with him and Rodriguez in behind Harris. It means Tyler Goodrum drops to the bench. Probably a little bit surprising, Stefan Negru not in the squad, but as we're performing so well, those kind of things aren't really an issue at the moment. But bad news about Kyle Edwards. We're not going to see him for about 6 to 8 weeks because of a hamstring problem. That's a disappointment because he has been electrifying so far. Let's have a look at Shrewsbury Town then. It's been a struggle for Matt Taylor's Shrews this season. They sit in 18th place, and scoring goals has just been the big problem for them. They hadn't scored in the previous 4 before this one, didn't score again tonight, and so that is just clearly where they need to improve. Did get a 0-0 draw last time out against Charlton, but Matt Taylor has made 4 changes from the side that got that 0-0 draw. They do have Ryan Bowman up front. He did get the winner in the 1-0 victory they had here last season. Oxford United loanee from last year, Brandon Fleming, is one of those 4 who has been left out, and that did cause some puzzlement amongst the Shrewsbury fans because he had a pretty good game at the weekend. Look, Shrewsbury have been poor at the front, but they have been pretty good at the back. That is one of their main strengths. Shay Dunkley has been their star man. Ex-Oxford United hero, Shay Dunkley as well. He skippers the side, and probably without a doubt, he has been their best player. So we were expecting in this one Shrewsbury to sit quite deep and try and nick something, and Oxford United were going to have to rely on a little bit of patience, and that is exactly how this game started. A very predictable pattern to the opening 10 minutes. Oxford with plenty of possession, but not really looking at threatening, just possession for possession's sake. But that is fine, because that is what we've been good at this season. Shrewsbury, as I said, just looking to soak up that pressure and then go long and try and get Bowman and hit him and trying to bring other players into play. Really not much happened in this game. It was very dull until Oxford took the lead, and they took the lead on 16 minutes, and it was great that we did get that early goal because it just meant Shrewsbury just couldn't sit there and do nothing. And it was Finn Stevens, an unlikely goal scorer, but that is his first Oxford United goal. Oxford had to be patient, and the build-up play was extremely patient, but eventually they got the ball out to Gregg Leigh, who can do no wrong at the moment, but he only put like a speculative ball over into the box, and it looked pretty harmless, but their goalkeeper Morosi, he's flapped at that one. He's made a bit of a howler really, and he's flapped it onto the on-rushing Stevens, who's come in at the back post and finished it off. Really good anticipation from Stevens to get on the end of that mistake from the goalkeeper, and Oxford United certainly take it. Where these chances probably would have flown high, wide and handsome last season, they're sticking into the back of the net at the moment. Oxford 1-0 up early in this game. Not really much offered from Shrewsbury in response. They did put some decent balls into the box at times, but no chances really came for it. Sometimes the balls just flashed across the face of goal with no strikers making any runs. It was actually Shay Dunkley who had their best chance in the game. Came after a good ball into the box from Bayliss, and Dunkley had to sort of rearrange his feet and get a quick shot away from the edge of the box, and it flew miles over the bar. Very much a centre-half effort on goal. But the one thing that did change was Shrewsbury did start to press Oxford a little bit more, and they did win the ball a couple of times in dangerous areas, but it did also mean that Oxford could play through Shrewsbury a little bit better, and they did play through this press really nice. And they really should have been ahead on about the half-hour mark. Mark Harris back into the side, missed a golden chance to put Oxford United 2-0 up. A great break from a corner, a Shrewsbury corner. Rodriguez got the ball, held the ball up brilliantly, played a great ball through to Harris. He's through on goal. He's really done everything right, and he's just bent the ball past the goalkeeper. You think it's going to go in, but it's drifted just wide. It is a really bad miss from Harris. Should have scored there. He knows he should have scored. And it remained 1-0. There was a long-range effort from Cameron Brannigan, and there was a shot that was blocked on the edge of the box, which came in after another good Oxford move and a good ball from Stevens. Which was pretty much it for the first half, and Oxford went in 1-0 up at half-time. Very comfortable, very dominant, but it was only 1-0. As I say, for me, Shrewsbury, I don't really know what the game plan was. It looked very basic, very rudimentary, pretty much just bang the ball up front and let's see if Ryan Bowman can win a flick on or hold the ball up. When the couple of times they did get the ball in the channel, as I said, they looked kind of threatening, but they just looked very toothless up front, and they don't look like they have a particularly exciting style of play. Start of the second half, Tyler Goodrum came on for Billy Bowden. It was a very scrappy start to the second half as well. Neither side looking particularly threatening in this one, and the game kind of meandered along until the hour mark. And just before the hour mark, Joe Anderson got sent off for Shrewsbury for 2 yellow cards. 2 badly timed challenges, one on Finn Stevens, the second one on Tyler Goodrum. I believe you could have no arguments about that. And from Shrewsbury's point of view, things went from bad to worse. From Oxford United's point of view, they went better and better, because from that free kick on 59 minutes, we went 2-0 up. Cameron Brannigan put a low ball in, not very well defended from Shrewsbury. The ball sort of deflected to Ciaron Brown, who was able to side foot it past the keeper from 6 yards out. It was actually a pretty decent finish from Ciaron Brown. I talked about centre-back strikes earlier on in the video, but that was actually a pretty good one and a composed one from Brown. And Oxford United defenders doing the business in front of goal, and Oxford seemingly home and hosed at 2-0. Minutes later, Marcus McGuane with a rare shot at goal, but he did actually sting the palms of Morosi, and again it came after some really beautiful football from Oxford United in possession. But I'd have to say the Oxford did get a little sloppy for maybe 10-15 minutes after the goal. Shrewsbury made some changes, changed it up a little bit, and I felt Oxford at times I felt they were going to give Shrewsbury a chance of giving the ball away in possession, giving away a few sloppy free kicks. But again, they stood firm. They didn't really give Beadle anything to do in this game. The defending was really on point from this Oxford United back line. And credit to Shrewsbury, they did keep going. They did keep trying to get back into the game, but they just looked so laboured and so toothless. And from maybe from just, I'm thinking with an Oxford United hat, so if anybody gets within 20 yards of our goal, I start to get a little twitchy. If you were a neutral watching this one, you'd probably think it's one of the most comfortable games you have seen. But it was just a matter of like, what would happen? Would Oxford get that third, or would it just peter out? There were long spells where Oxford were just passing the ball around and Shrewsbury just happy to just almost stand off. Gatlin O'Donker nearly picked Dunkley's pocket to get in for the third goal, and maybe that was a little bit of foreshadowing of what was going to happen at the end, because Morosi, Shrewsbury's keepers, had an absolute meltdown in injury time. He comes out of his goal and it nearly presents a chance for the on-rushing McGuane, but McGuane kind of bailed out of the challenge. But then a couple of minutes later, he's trying to run the ball out of defence. Gatlin O'Donker's just completely got him covered. Morosi can't do anything but just pass the ball down the line. This is the goalkeeper who could have just banged it out of play. He rolls it down the line to our player. what is he doing? What was he doing? And it just gives Gregg Leigh this opportunity. Look, Gregg Leigh's got a hell of a lot to do from here. He is miles out on the left-hand side. Gregg Leigh, as I said, can do nothing wrong at the moment. The goal is empty, and Gregg Leigh curls it magnificently into the goal from where he was. He's watching a bit of Rugby Union World Cup, I think, at the moment. As I said, Gregg Leigh is on fire. Oxford are on fire. He's our leading goal scorer, I think, as well in the league now. 4 goals since coming into the side. Oxford end up winning 3-0, and as I say, we haven't gone top of the table, but we're in this amazing run of form continues, and this was comfortable, borderline easy. And that brings me on to my final thoughts, and let's start with the visitors. And I have to say, Shrewsbury Town fans, I do feel for you. If that's what you're going to be served up on a weekly basis, this is going to be a tough season. Your side looks devoid of confidence going forward. The tactics looked extremely basic from Matt Taylor, and I'll be fascinated to know your thoughts on his team selection and what job you think he's doing after taking over from Steve Cotterill in the summer. I talked a lot after we played Stevenage. There was a lot of talk about anti-football and stuff like that. But I have to say, the style of football that Stevenage play is a lot more entertaining than what Shrewsbury played. Like they play forward and direct, but they play with a purpose. Shrewsbury, I have to say, and I hate to say it, looked very aimless tonight, and I just didn't really see how we were going to get a goal other than maybe nicking one from a set piece. But let's move on to Oxford United and say this was such a comfortable victory. It's a wonderful time at the moment. We're scoring goals. We're playing good football. The goals are coming from all sorts of different sources as well. You really just can't overemphasize what a great job Liam Manning is doing coaching this team. No matter what players seem to come into the side, they seem to make a contribution. And it is just a very exciting time to be an Oxford United fan. And I feel quite simple, just always harping back to the same old things of coaching and recruitment. But when I looked at James Beadle today, you can see why they brought in a goalkeeper that is comfortable with the ball at his feet. And it's really now he's cemented himself and he's confident now, kept a few clean sheets. You're really starting to see how good he is at passing the ball out from the back. There's a couple of times today passing the ball out there. He's not just rolled it to defenders. He's made excellent passes up the field, which has got Oxford into very good attacking positions, cutting out Shrewsbury players, not just banging it forward. These are measured passes, and the decision to bring in a goalkeeper, a young goalie that's good at passing the ball, is starting to prove dividends. And just bringing in what a difference a player like Gregg Leigh has already made coming into the side. Look, there's not really too much more to say. If Saturday's game was maybe our most impressive win, this was maybe our most easy and our most basic. But if the games are going to be like that, then happy days. This was very, very comfortable, very easy to watch, and very low stress. And I'm all for that. I don't know about you. But this weekend's game should prove to be another test against Joey Barton's Bristol Rovers side. We do not typically do very well against the gas, and obviously they put the final nail in Carl Robinson's coffin, although maybe we want to thank them for that 3-0 horror show that happened last season, because that's all led to what we've got now. So we will see if we can go full circle and get that win finally against Bristol Rovers at the Kassam. That'll do for me. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoy it. Please leave a like, as I say, and I always enjoy reading all of your comments from you my beloved Oxford fans and from you Shrewsbury fans as well. Again, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.